On tonight's Real ER, surgeons fight to save a pensioner's leg after an unusual car accident near her home. And former West Bromwich Albion goalkeeper Ted Gorham takes an unexpected dive. All this and more on the Real ER. Accident and Emergency Unit is preparing to deal with a major trauma. The air ambulance is bringing in 83-year-old Betty Roberts, who has been injured in a car accident at Malvern. The paramedics picked her up 45 minutes ago. Air ambulance man Kerry Smart treated Betty on site.
Well, in this case, we were unable to land at the scene of the actual incident, and we rendezvoused at a point about half a mile from the incident. The lady had suffered a very serious leg injury in this case, and our responsibility really was to ensure that she was clinically stable and maintain that stability.
She was standing on a driveway up against a wall, and an elderly friend of hers was moving the car, put his foot on the acceleration instead of the brake and pushed the car up against her leg, up against the wall. What we basically got is a degloved left lower leg. Not bleeding significantly, it's just literally degloved.
To check for any spinal injuries, Betty's position needs to be readjusted.
Don't worry about the ball away from you. Don't worry about that. Just keep your arms.
Okay, it's fine.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Well done, Betty. Sorry about this. Right, Betty, we're going to fill down your back.
Can you feel me touch you here, Betty? Yeah. And you feel me touch you here? Yeah. Does that feel okay?
John, can you do another blood pressure for us, please? Betty's left leg was crushed when she was pinned against a wall by a car. She also has a few other injuries.
Can you wiggle your toes for me? Well done. That's it.
Watching dressings ready?
But once her leg is unwrapped, the true extent of her injury is revealed.
Skin is completely off, actually. Betty, can you feel me touching your foot? Good. Can you feel me touching you there? Good. Well done. That's fine.
Because of the severity of the injuries, Betty's taken straight into theatre. The minor wing at A&E treats people from all walks of life, and today is no exception. 6'3", Ted Gorham played in goal for West Bromwich Albion in the 1930s, and daughter Pauline has driven him to hospital after a fall.
I was having coffee and biscuits, and I opened the back kitchen door, and as I opened the door, I pitched forward. Naturally, I put my arm out to save myself up against the frame of the door.
The double glazing.
And I was sliding down it. Eventually, I was on the floor in a pool of blood.
How are you?
Senior House Officer Sabrina Muller is treating Ted's injury.
Should we have a look at this?
Yeah,
Hang on. Let me just... Oh, there we go. Okay. That's quite a nasty gash, isn't it?
so there.
Okay. I don't think we'll be able to stitch that up. So we'll clean it up and put some paper stitches across.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. And then what we'll do, we'll put it back in your sling.
Okay, love.
Is that all right?
Yes, I shall fall in with anything with you.
Good. Of course.
Not fall out, fall in.
In the trauma theatre, consultant Ashgar Ali is considering the best course of treatment for Betty Roberts' badly broken leg.
We have assessed the wound, and it appears that most of the skin from the thigh up to the ankle is not going to survive. So Mr. White is now excising that bit of the skin.
It's decided to stabilise the fracture with a series of pins and rods, but this may not be enough.
With this injury to the limb, with so much of extensive soft tissue damage, we have a horrible feeling that the limb may not be salvageable.
Should be S2.
If the operation is successful, Betty will be brought back to theatre in a couple of days' time to have her leg reassessed. In the Miners, Alan Bridge is being treated for friction burns after a family holiday in Lanzarote.
Okay, just lie down and just...
He was thrown off a moped and hit a concrete post after the bike slid on volcanic ash.
This is the result.
Yeah, so it's going to be cold.
God, you're not kidding.
Is it tickling?
No, it's painful.
It's painful.
Yeah.
Staff nurse Dot Saunders has the unenviable task of removing Alan's dressings, which have stuck to his wounds like a giant elastoplast.
I would say some of this is sort of, it's quite a bit infected in areas. It's red, it's sort of stuffy.
It feels sore.
As Alan's wounds are taking so long to clean, Dot decides on a more drastic line of action.
Just over here.
As well as removing the dressing, the wound will be thoroughly cleaned. Round the corner, former Baggies goalkeeper Ted Gorham has found a fan.
Is this very sore?
Is it very sore? Is it hurting you?
No. I ain't frightened of a bit of pain, Doctor.
Once staff nurse Danny Nekazana had finished dressing the wound, Ted was free to go.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Meanwhile, on ward S3, Betty Roberts has returned from her first operation. Husband George and close friend Jenny are visiting.
It was this tremendous crash, and this thing came at me, dead on, actually. I was in such pain. I couldn't think of anything. I thought I'd been squashed a bit, you know. I feel sick all the time, actually. Depressed. I can't visualise the future at all.
The next couple of days will be tough for Betty. She needs 2 more operations, but they may be even tougher for husband George.
If none of it works, the leg's got to come off. Yes, I am still like that. But having been prepared, and I've got a very good companion here.
You're all right. Okay, come on. You're okay.
Yes, I am prepared.
While Betty recuperates, Senior House Officer Tom Beach assesses Alan Bridge's friction burns.
They're all mainly partial thickness burns. There's a possibility that one of them may have been full thickness, the one on the outer thigh. Now it's just over a week since he's had this injury, so what we'll do is we'll put some dressings on these and we'll get him to come back to one of our clinics in a couple of days' time and see how they're getting on.
You do find a silver dressing containing an antibacterial agent is used to treat the burns. It'll keep the wound moist so the dressings won't stick like before.
The thing that I'm looking forward to is sort of being pain-free because I haven't slept, I haven't done anything, and hopefully I should be able to do that.
So, will you be biking again?
I don't think so.
You're not going to be brave enough?
Alan is dressed in a body stocking to keep the dressings in place.
I suppose it looks a bit odd, but the condition I'm in, I'm not really that bothered.
Alan will be back at Selly Oak in a few days' time to have his dressings changed once again. Betty is in theatre for her second operation. The orthopaedic surgeons have inserted a nail down her tibia to stabilise the fracture. The plastic surgeons can now start work covering the bone with muscle and skin.
Taken split thickness skin off the right thigh, so you can see it's just a thin sheet of skin, you can see through it. And then we're going to use this to fill in the area on the left lower leg where the skin's missing.
Once the skin has been grafted onto the lower leg, a special dressing is applied to keep the graft in place. But Betty still has one more operation to go.
Today was really the crunch point because we took her back to theatre again to look at the wound, see whether the grafts were taking, and I'm absolutely delighted to report that it's looking fabulous, and we're really now for the first time being very optimistic about this leg. We've got lots of good news to tell her, and now hopefully we can encourage her to sit out first and then put a little bit of weight on the leg and perhaps get her walking in a week or 2. So we're feeling very encouraged, very optimistic, really happy today.
The Selly Oak trauma team deals with over 2,300 traffic accidents a year, and a good 250 of them involve motorbikes.
Steady, go, nice and easy.
So it was no surprise when they heard that another rider had been knocked off his machine. But this time, the biker is 70 years old. Motorcycle enthusiast Chris Smith was doing 30 miles an hour when he was in collision with a 4x4 at a busy road junction.
He has no recollection of the accident. His airway is clear and self-maintaining, has been throughout. He had considerable damage to his helmet, left side, and he has blood issuing from his right ear. Because he wasn't going too fast, that's obviously helped him, but also his equipment that he was wearing has protected him well. He got a good quality helmet, good quality clothing and boots on, and that's certainly prevented some of his injuries.
Can one of you chase the radiographer, please, and find out where they are?
Do you know where you are, sir? Have a little look in your ears here. Okay, all I can tell you of the ride is his right ear canal's full of blood.
Chris is taken for a CT scan to detect where the blood is coming from.
We've identified from his CT scans, he's actually fractured the base of his skull, which is quite a serious injury. But fortunately, he's quite with it at the moment and he's awake and talking to us, which is always a good sign. His only other main injury is a fracture of the front of his face, around his eye, and also he's got quite a nasty open fracture of his left forearm.
Because the bone is exposed, the orthopaedics will operate later today to prevent infection. In A&E, Ed and Betty Dale have been fast-tracked through to see and treat after Betty tripped up.
I fell over and then our coverage hadn't been put back properly.
You had a phone call and I've just rushed out to see what's going on. You think everything, don't you? You think the worst?
It feels a bit sore, you know. Yeah, but it don't feel so sore as when I've done it like, but
Looks sore, doesn't it?
it does feel a bit sore now, yeah.
Fresh from resus, Major Chris Wright checks Betty over to see if she has done herself any other damage.
What I'd like to do is just give a quick examination of your face. Make sure you haven't got any fractures under there. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right, yeah.
It's a bit sore up there.
Yeah, there's a bit sore.
A bit sore there. Right under there.
No, that feels not too bad.
No problems around there?
No.
Good. Did you have much of a nosebleed?
I did have a nosebleed, yeah. It all down my coat and everywhere, yeah.
What I think we'll do is we'll send you for an X-ray of your face. X-ray department is just down there. You present your form to the desk, they'll do the X-ray, then come back here and we'll have a look at it. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Betty has a rare condition called sarcoidosis. Inflammation has caused tiny lumps of cells to grow and clump together in her nose, creating blockages. X-rays will show if the fall has damaged her nose further. On ward S3, Chris Smith is recovering after the operation to fix his broken arm, but he's become disorientated. Staff nurse Catherine Browning has been keeping an eye on him.
When he first came in, he was quite with it, knew where he was, although he couldn't remember the actual accident, knew that he'd had a motorcycle accident, but then unfortunately became quite confused over the time that he was with us, not sure where he was, why we were keeping him here.
At the moment, staff want to get Chris in a stable condition so his head injuries can be operated on if necessary, but it will take time. Betty Dale's X-rays are back and it's good news. There's no sign of a break.
Although it looks quite dramatic, I've now established that she just has an abrasion of her face. On the side view here, we can see the nasal bone here, which looks absolutely fine. It doesn't look fractured. You can see a lot of destruction of tissues caused by the granulation from the sarcoidosis, but that's long-standing, and I think this abrasion will heal up quite nicely on its own.
Once the cut is dressed, Betty is free to go.
I just want a couple of photographs of the actual injuries that you sustained to your hand so we can put them...
In the minors, medical photographer Phil Hearn has been called in to take pictures of lorry driver Paul Page's hand for the doctor's records.
I'm just going to come behind you. Lovely, thanks very much indeed.
Travelling down the motorway and I turned the truck over and it sort of skidded along the road.
went over on my driver's side and my arm was gone where the window was, sort of thing, so my arm took all the contact with the tarmac.
The accident happened in France, and as Paul's parents, Mick and Sandra, don't have passports, they couldn't go to meet him.
I feel better now, but I think I'm still in shock. I'm thinking what could have happened, I think, and I've got to get that out of my mind because he's here and he don't really deserve this. I'm devastated, really.
Because the tendons in Paul's hand are exposed, the plastic surgeons have to rebuild the tissues and skin surrounding them. After repairing several broken tendons, plastic surgeon Garth Titley measures out the area of hand that needs replacing.
Prognosis in terms of function is actually reasonably good. The tendons on the front of his hand, the nerves on the front of his hand are all intact. Those tendons on the front are very strong and will usually overcome any problems on the back. And so I'm quite optimistic he'll do very well from this.
Garth decides to use a wedge of skin containing muscle, fat and blood vessels from Paul's forearm to replace the missing tissues. The operation takes 3.5 hours to complete. Paul's bandages come off in a week's time, and only then will he know if the operation has been a success. On S3, motorcyclist Chris Smith is working with physiotherapists Jane Mason and Alex Mosley. They're getting him up for the first time since his operation.
Are you ready?
I'll stand up, I might just fall down.
You won't. OK. We've got you. OK. Lean forward, Chris, and on 3, push through your arms and legs. 1, 2, 3. Up you come, up you come.
Lovely.
Super. Well done.
Stand still for a moment.
You probably feel like they don't belong to you at the moment. All right, you
Chris hasn't been out of bed for over a week.
I don't suppose you've eaten very much either.
Not much at
And
all.
though you're going to lose your energy that way.
Well, I've not moved my bowels in 3 weeks.
And that's another thing as well. That won't make you feel too great either.
Although he'll feel tired at first, sitting up will help his breathing and digestion get back to normal. But Chris's fractures are healing.
I'm quite pleased with his recovery for his forearm bones, and his wounds are well healed. We've got the stability of the bones, so we should allow him to use his arm after plaster in around 4 to 6 weeks' time. We've done a lot of scans of his head to see if his bleeding has actually extended over time, but it has been quite static, and the neurosurgeons do not want to intervene surgically.
And the maxillofacial surgeons also decide to leave Chris's facial fractures to heal on their own. Paul Page is on the mend. The cast dressings have been removed after 7 days.
I think it's a brilliant job. It's so neat and tidy, the stitching, and after seeing it the week before and what a mess it was in, it's just a really tidy job now.
Paul's next stop is an inspection by his plastic surgeon, Garth Titley.
Can you turn your hand over for us? Yeah, and the donor side looks good too. I know it looks pretty horrid to you, all kind of purple and so on at the moment, but you'll find that this purple colour will gradually go pale.
Right.
And it tends to turn like sort of normal skin colour in the long term.
Yeah.
But that's healed beautifully, I'm very pleased with that. Can you turn your hand back over again? Okay, good. Just try and make a fist, curling from your fingertips. That's great, okay, good. All right, and straighten your fingers out again. Excellent, okay, that's not a bad start. In the long term, that's all you'll be able to do. So we need to concentrate on these joints here, like this, so we can make a fist in the long run.
A week later, Paul is back at his local snooker hall, giving his hand a good workout and winning through, much to the relief of parents Mick and Sandra.
I think the main thing is he's had an accident, he's getting over it, and he's going to go back to work. And we've got a lot to be grateful for, haven't we?
Hopefully in time it will come back and I'll be able to start winning again.
70-year-old biker Chris Smith and wife Christine also have something to celebrate.
He hopes to go home quite soon, and it's all set up at home for him to get better. I've never nursed an invalid before.
No.
There's always a first time, and he's looking forward to it, so I'm sure he'll behave.
And what about Chris's beloved dream machine?
Some people have been asking me in the hospital, would you get back on the bike? Well, at this moment in time, I would, because I don't know what happened. It's as if I went to sleep for a few hours. But if somebody said what I would have to say, truthfully, I don't know. I haven't a clue.
I don't think I would be very happy, really. He's got to remember his age.
Yeah, true. But you've got to say this. You can't take it away from them what these people do. You know, they're brilliant. And I'm in a good place up here.